fiance and then my husband, so he's my ex-boyfriend.
We decided that we needed to spice this up. And gentlemen, welcome to Living with Your Ex. It's so weird because I got so used to the Monday morning show, which is called the Morning Shake. So I got super used to saying that in the morning, and then now I gotta kind of come up with an intro for this one because that's what I already. Don't do that intro of yours, please, because I could see your mouth was about to do it.
Which one? The hello.
I knew it. I just knew it. Yo.
No, I just want to make sure, Mos.
That one. You know exactly which one.
Which one? The
So
hello.
don't do it. Don't park the car here, please. Anyways, I'm sitting with my wife, Anka. Guys, again, thank you so much for always showing love and support on the show. The show is really popped off since we started it. Anks,
Oh.
say hello to the people.
Hi, everybody. I really want to do my intro, but
Man, that intro is so irritating.
in the interest of keeping the peace. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Living with Your Ex or My Ex. Is it your ex or my ex?
I'm your ex-boyfriend, bro. That's all I know.
You are my ex-boyfriend and my current husband, whom I do love so dearly. Welcome. I hope you enjoy the show with us today. We've got a few interesting topics, and we would like you to be part of that as well. So please drop a comment or any questions that you'd like to ask. We like to interact with you guys all the time, and just make the show as interesting as possible.
Yeah.
It's over to you, sir.
I know, but the thing is that you're telling me I must say something. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Before we get married, there's a number of things that's happening, right? Number one, we're dating. So we're trying to check things out. We're trying to suss each other out. We're trying to see, what do you do? What do I do? What do you do that I don't appreciate? What do I do that you perhaps don't appreciate? But before I get into it, guys, please can you please do comment in the comment section. The comment section is definitely open for you to jump in on. Please check it out over there. So yeah, before we get married, we usually try to first kind of see the vibe, see each other, see the whole energy, and we basically sussing each other out. And so for me personally, my attention was gone somewhere else for a second. There, I'm back. For me personally, there was a bit of a tick list and a list of things that I needed to tick off for me personally, right? And a lot of the list came from, number one, my Christianity, so my belief in Jesus and the Bible. So that obviously dictated a lot of why I chose the person that I chose and who I chose for whichever reasons I chose. Number two, a lot of my decision was also informed by my parents. What's wrong?
I can't find us.
Great, are we live? Because I'm also just seeing one view here, and normally by now there's 10 views. Oh, so Nicole says, good morning, Team Hendrix. Thank you so much, Nicole. So a lot of my views on who I decided to choose as a life partner came from, number one, biblical and my Christian background. Number two, my parents. My parents informed a lot of my decisions. My father would sit me down and say, if you're choosing a life partner, look out for 1, 2, and 3. Make sure of 1, 2, and 3. Check out for this, that, and the other. And some of those things, among others, were check the family she comes from. Check how she speaks to her parents. Check how she speaks to her father. Because technically what begins to happen is that the way a lady is with her father, more often than not, she's going to end up being with her husband. And the way the guy is with his mother, sometimes he'll end up being like that with his wife. Outside of the fact that some issues that we've dealt with before is that mommy boy issue where the guy will put his mother before his wife or before his girlfriend, that which is a red flag also that we're going to chat about just now. So there's that informed the decision that I made. And then, of course, also for me personally, so these are three big elements that informed the decisions that I made when I chose a life partner. Was my spirituality, my Christian background. Number two, my family, which is my father, my parents, also my mother, that told me watch out for 1, 2, and 3. And then of course my own things, what I like, what I'm looking for, what
So
I'm
what did you
trying
like?
to. Yeah, so I
Tell
like
us.
my
I'd
own
like
things.
to know too. Like what? Tell us. We'd like to know. It's been 10 years later. People out there want to know, what did you like?
I liked you.
Oh, you're so boring.
So again, yeah, then some guys have preferences. I mean, some of the preferences are very superficial. Yeah, skin tone, eye colors, those kind of stuff. Those are superficial stuff. But again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to go after the superficial things, you are in for the ride of your life, because once you get into the thick of it, then you realize, the superficial things is not going to help you moving forward. So again, those are the things that I've looked out for. So allow me to then I'll mention about 3 things that I looked out for. Then you maybe mention 3 things that you look out for. Then we'll start getting into the red flag issues, right? So number 1, a big thing for me was the virgin aspect, right? Because I felt like from my spirituality side of things, and also that it's the house that I kind of came from, where it's like, when you're going to consummate the marriage, that should be your first. That's for me, right? And I understand that that's not how it is for everyone, which is fine. There's nothing wrong. If people do it differently, that's up to them. I'm speaking about for myself. So the virginity thing was a big thing for me to begin with. The second one was I really looked for someone that came from a stable background, where both parents were present in her home, where her parents were active in her life, because I felt like that could also pose challenges later on in our marriage. So, and also good relationships with her parents. So that was number 2 for me. And then number 3 for me was, I'm going to be a little bit superficial, but I wanted a good looking woman, because
You must like what you see.
yeah, I want to like what I see, because now when time comes for action and stuff, I don't want to be thinking, what did I do? Shame she had a nice personality, but now I'm not really getting turned on by her looks. So to me, that obviously is a thing as well.
I think there is a disclaimer to that. And when I say that, I had this conversation with Jay, I think a week or 2 ago, where you can be as beautiful as your Miss World, Miss Universe, but if you have a nasty personality, the looks fade. People don't really take interest in your looks, and you don't look so pretty anymore, because it goes hand in hand. And what I told him was that a lot of the times when we do get married, we don't get the full package deal. We don't get everything in the package deal, but you start to love that person's flaws. They become what is most attractive to you during the marriage. Half the time when you get to know this person, and this person has, cares for you and looks after you and really puts you first, you then start seeing those flaws as being beautiful. I mean, I'm sure there's a few things that you see in the mornings and you're like, ish. But I think you look past that and you're like, this is what I love about my wife, because, there's so much she brings to the table. Part of that becomes what you love about this person.
And then beauty is in the eye of the beholder also, right? So some guys, I've had conversations with guys many, many times. Like some guys, they like slender girls. Some guys are butt guys. Some guys are boob guys. I'm talking from a guy's perspective, right? From a guy's point of view. So then some other guys will be like, hi, bro, I like these fitness girls, And then again, some of those decisions may be informed also by, social media and all. I'm sorry, I'm distracted.
Who's distracted?
You're showing me that we're not live. Are we live, bro?
I'm not sure if we are.
Because Anka says she can't find us anywhere. The views are low, so I'm not sure if the people can find us there. You finding us there? I'm
finding you us on the phone, but I'm not finding us on the laptop. Okay, let us go on, because we have got 6 views. So let's go.
So it's really distracting now, because now I'm trying to think and talk and then you keep showing me something.
It is I. I'm sorry. It is I. I will take my fault.
So now I'm not sure even where I was now. Oh yeah, so different guys look for different things. So some guys like, I'm just gonna say it for what it's worth, right? Because this is the conversation, and we like to have real conversations in when we have Living with my ex, this podcast. Some guys like chubbier girls, right? Some guys like a little bit of...
Don't say chubbier girls. And this is the conversation I always have with the ladies. I sell clothes for like a side hustle. And this is the thing, because I know you like a fuller person as well, a fuller figure as well. It's a fuller figure that makes the clothes smile. It's not chubby. It's curvy. It's curvaceous.
Yeah, and for me, here's the problem with what a lot of things, and we're going to get into the red flags in a second, but the problem with what happened a lot in the past is that the media and social media would inform the kind of look and image. So there was a time where media was pushing the catwalk model vibes, where you must be so skinny, like it looks like you're sick or something. And so a lot of people were like, yeah, the girl must look like a model and this and that. And it wasn't because the person liked a type of person like that. It was more so because that was what media was pushing, and that was the influence coming from media. Then at some point the media changed the whole thing where curvy was a thing. Like,
yeah, and then BBL became a thing, and people paid thousands of dollars or rands to put in BBL, which could be life threatening procedures and stuff. Yeah.
So then people started going for the curvier look, like, okay, the more fuller bottoms, the more fuller tops, the more fuller figures, the hourglass figures, all those kind of elements.
And on that note, the BBL is out again.
Now BBL is out. Now you must go and remove the silicone from your bums and all this kind of thing. Now you have to get back to the smaller look. So again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You must know as an individual what shape you like, what kind of person you like, and that person must turn you on. Some guys like the fuller woman. Some guys like skinnier woman. Some guys looking at toes. Some guys are looking at like fingers. Different fetishes, or I don't know what it is, but different people are looking at different things. And so again, when you are choosing your life partner, at minimum, your partner should at least turn you on, because you don't also be looking at someone for the rest of your life thinking, man, what did I get myself into?
But I must put a disclaimer out there that a lot of the times, a lot of people, they go for someone because they like what they see. And the challenge is gravity is real. Gravity is a force to be reckoned with, because when you reach a certain age, things start going downstairs. Things just start drooping, and wrinkles start forming. All the things, the bits and bobs are not in all the right places. And then what are you left with? Because now looks have left the building. Now you're just left with the person's personality. So a lot of the times you need to take into consideration the whole thing in full spectrum. It's not just you like what you see. Yes, there must be an element of attraction, physical attraction, where you do like what you see, but there's a lot more to a person than just what you see. There's personality, there's thought patterns. What is their reasoning? How do they see you? How do they treat you? How do they... What is their first thought going to be when they're approached by someone or something? Would it be you? These are all the things to take into consideration. And what is it that you want in this relationship before you just go in because the person looks aesthetic?
I think let's get into the red flags. Let's get into some of the red flags. I want to jump into. Do we have any comments yet? Do you just want to say hello to everyone?
Well, Nicole says, good morning, Team Hendrix. And then that was the time when I just messed everything up. By the way, I figured out what was wrong. It wasn't my fault. Sorry. She says
I'm looking at Clayton. Clayton is showing me like...
Yeah, it is me. Sorry.
I'm all right. Yeah, everything is fine.
What happened was that I have my kids' profiles here, and it was in my kids' profile, and it's blocked on their profiles.
Okay.
Because it's not appropriate content for kids. And then also, Felicia says, good morning, beautiful people. So, good morning from us, and thank you for joining us.
All right, let's get into the red flags, ladies and gentlemen. Red flag number 1, frequent cancellation. Right? So you're repeatedly cancelling events, you're repeatedly cancelling meetings, you're repeatedly cancelling times you were supposed to go somewhere, do something. We're talking about dating now, right?
Dating.
So we're talking about dating. This could be a sign of inconsistency.
Not just that, I think ladies, this is coming from I'm speaking to my ladies, and even the gents, my guys. If this person wants to be with you, they will move hell and high water for you. They will make you a priority. They will want to be by that date. They will want to see you. They will want the world to see that you guys were somewhere. They will want to post. They will really want the people to know if you are a priority. So that is a sign for me. If that boy don't love you by now.
So here's the thing, right? I was speaking to some young ladies, and when I say young ladies, I literally mean young ladies, because I chill with a lot of young people because it's part of what I do, youth-wise, church-wise. I chill with a lot of young people, like, you know, they're always together, they're having these conversations, they're always, obviously in the church space, in a meeting setup, when we're shooting promos, we're shooting content for church, all that kind of stuff. So I chill with a lot of young people. So there was a conversation that came up, and this one, and some of the young ladies was asking, they were like, okay, you guys are doing this. There's a podcast about relationships and things. I want to ask you something. So there was the one young lady was supposed to go on a date with the guy, and she asked me, hey, this guy is ghosting me. He's not responding. He's taking long to reply. Does that and the other. What should I do? So I said, look, a guy that's there's two things. There's one thing that's called infatuation. You just bar for someone because it's new, it's fresh, you're excited for the relationship. But then if someone really wants to spend time with you, they're not going to ghost you. They're not going to come up with stories. They're not going to ignore your calls. I remember when I was dating and I was really feeling the vibe with somebody. I mean, bruh, I'm waiting for them to respond. I'm waiting for that message. You get that exciting feeling when you see their name popping up on the screen. You're like, yes, it's this person, and then you reply, you're excited, you move mountains. Was it? I think it was Asher. You got it bad when you're out with someone, but you keep on thinking about.
You do wanna, you really wanna reply, given the fact that there must be an element of a bit of self-control at the same time. And I say this because a lot of the times, gents get bored when it's too easy. But I'm not saying make this person a dog. I'm not saying, there should be an element of, not replying quick. So a lot of people don't reply instantly or whatever, but they don't take 3 days to reply.
No, bro. You can't now take even 2 days or even the next day. Maybe the next day if you were like somewhere, you didn't have signal or something, whatever the challenge was.
Also just
but
wrong.
The next way is the... There's another song where I think I don't know if it's Neo or something. I didn't think I was going to... who thought I would be the one to not blow with the friends and rather blow with my girlfriend? What's the song? I can't even what song. Nee, man, it was playing on the radio the other day. I think I used to be the captain of my ship, flying high.
That's scary.
Till I met this pretty little chick that knocked me out the sky. And then it's like, then in some ways, like, who would have thought I would have told the gents no, because I'd rather be at home with my chick. And that's the thing. If you really love someone and you really actually make a plan, you'll say no to the gents even. You'll start making excuses. Hi, gents, I can't make it.
And I say this like I've said this on many previous shows before, is that anything in life requires balance. Anything.
You now can't also now sit.
Yeah. So what happens is that if something is important to you, you will make it a priority. You will want to move mountains to get this thing done. If something is a priority for you, I mean, a simple example, a little bit off topic, but a simple example is the other day, Xavier rides bikes, right? And they went out for a run, took the bikes out of the track, and that morning, Mans never gets up early for nothing and no one. He doesn't get up early. Mans is up at 5 o'clock in the morning, strapped in. Bikes are strapped in on the trailer because he needs to be there at 8 o'clock and the place is far. Made sure everything was in the car, helmet, everything was in the car, because why? It was a priority to him. It's something that he really, really wanted to do. Likewise, in other areas of your life, you're going to want to do that. And if you are somebody's priority, if someone wants to be with you, believe you me, they will be with you. And I say that with balance. There must be balance. So you can't be clingy and expect the person to now leave everything, leave their job, leave whatever, because there is balance and there must be priorities at the same time, because, life still goes on regardless of the fact that you are in love and on cloud 9.
All right, let's go red flag number 2. Unwillingness to compromise. This is a big one. I think
for me, this one is you know, a lot of these stuff have elements of narcissism in it, because if you are unwilling to compromise, that means that only your way or the highway. It's just about you. And in the very first show, when we did start, we said that when you're in a relationship, whether it be marriage or just in the dating sphere, if it's the whole point of something is to put someone else before you, the relationship, the whole point of that relationship. And if at the moment you can't put someone before you, that's selfishness right there. If you aren't willing to compromise on something, and when I say this, I say not willing to compromise on negative things, on things that will harm the relationship. They shouldn't be compromising things that will harm the relationship. But in general, if you're not willing to compromise and you're not willing to speak something through because you need to balance the situation, then you're being selfish. And that really sounds, I don't know, it sounds like narcissism to me.
But one of the pivotal things that the relationship is based on is compromise. And that I learned the hard way inside of the marriage. It's like, bruh, especially if you've been single or you've been doing things your way, or you've been kind of on your own timing and your own terms and your own vibes. Now you with someone where you're like, bruh, this is now going against my kind of the way I used to do things, because I was alone. I could do things in a certain manner, in a certain way.
Give us an example.
Now I have to accommodate somebody else. So that means I need to compromise on certain things. And I mean, example is anything in the beginning. Again,
No, example true to us.
I don't know. You clearly have something specific in your mind that you want to talk about. Now, I'm just saying in general, because I want to move over to the next point, because obviously time is moving now, and we only like two red flags in. One of the, so again, there has to be some sort of compromise. You have to. I don't want to do this, but like for me, I don't want to go shopping. But then it's like, now I must. You know what? It's all right. Let me go. Because then sometimes I think my kids. I think, like, okay, my wife alone now, if something now happens and I wasn't there, then it's going to be like, hey, brah, you were supposed to be there. Let me just go.
You make it sound like I'm a shopaholic. Let's just clear the air. I am not a shopaholic. However, there are certain times, as we know, that the kids need something or the house needs something. And yes, I am clingy. I don't like to be alone. So
that's a bit irritating. But then again, you have to kind of now and then compromise. And then likewise on your side, sometimes I want to do something that you don't want to do. But the thing is like, my bro, at least also.
Look, the reality of the matter is when two people come together, their interests won't always be the same. We're not going to always like the same stuff. Like for instance, movies. Xavier just watches atrocious things and I just refuse to watch it. And then there are times when like he really wants to tell me about something and I'm like, I don't want to hear it. And it's a matter of fact, but I just want to have a conversation with you. And then you sit there and you listen because you're compromising.
Even though you don't want to, I need to go on to the next point. It's already half past.
Yeah, okay, go. I don't know why we're rushing through this. We have like ample time, like shows to come. I'm not sure why we're rushing.
Okay, sorry, then say what you wanted to say then.
Yeah, because like we're having a conversation, are we not?
Yeah, but I want to try and get through as many red flags so that we get through some red flags.
There goes that thought.
Alright, so another red flag is a big one. So the other day I was chilling with some friends and I asked them this question because this question often pops up. And I said to them, gents, and these friends that I was chilling with, they all have wives, and all of their wives are pretty like good-looking women, right? So I said to them, gents, do you ever have a situation where you're jealous because another gent looks at your wife? And all three of them said, how I feel. They all said, no. I actually don't mind when gents look at my wife because that means my wife is attractive. And that means I got a good-looking wife. So that means I made the right decision. However, this is not the same for everyone. There are some gents out there, which is red flag number 3, intense jealousy, over-possessive nature, where, who's that? Can I read your messages? Can I see who you're talking to? I saw you were live. I saw you were active on your WhatsApp 11 o'clock at night. Aren't you supposed to be sleeping? It's like hello. That is a big red flag, and I've heard of situations like that.
Yeah, I've heard of situations like that, and it is toxic. And what usually happens is these are the red flags that generally escalate into abuse and into places where you're really being controlled. And believe you me, being in a relationship, especially when you're married, you're stuck in this relationship and it feels like you can't go anywhere. You can't even, I know of relationships relationships where people can't even really spend time with their family, and that is a major red flag, and it's toxic. And what happens in the end is that it affects your personality and the person you are. So it changes a lot of dynamics.
So there must be a little bit of jealousy to a certain extent, where you also kind of feel like, hey, that's my wife. But like positive jealousy, not like, hey,
and
come here.
it must be very subtle, because the reality of the matter, it does make me feel like, if I feel like, my husband felt a little bit some sort of way, but it mustn't be a toxic type where you really want to control this person and this person can't be who they are. There must just be a subtle
But do you think many women feel the way you feel? That you want your husband to kind of feel like,
that's
my wife.
Because it feels like he's taking
So you're
ownership.
actually the problem, where there's the ones that come here with their duck muscles. Hey, why are you looking at my girlfriend?
No.
Then you stand there,
No.
baby,
No.
steer come, baby, steer come.
Yeah, that is just
Now the man is now feeling he needs to be masculine and show now his girlfriend is defending her honor.
Hold up, wait
Get
a
my
minute.
wife's name out.
No, hold up, wait. That is men's ego speaking. So when I said there must be a subtle sense of jealousy, it is that where me and you know, you're like, hi baby, why did you go stand there? You must come stand here. Or that subtle elements of when we're busy in a conversation and it's just standing a bit closer just so that you can notice. It's not that creepy, like, this is my wife, like with their hand around. Just stand a little bit closer, because she's like, I am here, I am married, this is part of who I am. So tread lightly, a kind of vibe, but not that creepy kind of like, it's my woman, stay away from my woman, like with the whole muscles and what. No, that's not what we're
So
going
where's
for.
the border? Because some Owens go the extreme.
No, that's just
where
ego speaking.
claim with Owens. Why are you looking at my girlfriend? Why are you looking?
That's just ego speaking, and that's where men's testosterone. That is where their self-control comes in.
But where's the border of, I want my husband to feel a bit jealous also?
I just said it, like that subtlety, like just stand closer, just make your presence a little bit known. I am here, you are here, but you're busy doing your own thing. And later on, baby, why did you go stand so far from me? That it should be like a subtle romantic type of vibe.
Like the movie Temptation, right? Where the bad guy defends her, and so she feels, he's at least defending me.
No.
Blah, blah. And then the husband,
I don't know
remember they walk past those guys that flirting and whistling and thus. Then the husband says, baby, let's just get in the car and leave this thing alone. Then she's like, but you must start that. Then he says, just leave this thing, let's get in the car, let's go home, let's leave it. Then when she's with the other guy beats the O up and blah, blah. Then she feels like, this is my man. He's defending me.
For me personally, what is the outcome with the general violence, you standing up? I know the type of person you are, right? You will rather avoid the situation and let's go. You will stand your ground if you need to stand your ground. But why are we resorting to violence to achieve what at the end of the day? A court case, someone getting hurt, ending up in hospital.
Someone getting stabbed or shot.
Or died. Someone dies. It's unnecessary.
And you ask, why were you all fighting?
And, I think for the point where I am in my life or where we are in our lives, it becomes a matter of, is something beneficial? What is the outcome? Is it going to be beneficial for me when we're done with this? Because something like that, you getting upset.
I'd rather say let's go.
Having a big argument in a public place. We're in a restaurant, tables being overturned. Now it's assault, it's damage, it's vandalism. Who's going to pay for all of those things? It's unnecessary. And no, that show of masculinity, or for me, that's not even masculinity right there. That's just ego right there.
But will you feel like I didn't defend your honor if I just say, baby, let's go home?
No,
or will you feel like, why didn't you tell it? Or why did you let him just talk to me like that?
No, I feel embarrassed because I'm like, why are we attracting the attention? First of all, if he's complimenting your wife, you have a beautiful wife, it's like, man, that's my wife. But now if he's being slimy, I think it's important to say, whoa, guy, this is my wife. And that's disrespectful.
So it's not the world's smart.
It's up to you. I just explained to you that I'm not for
Get
that.
My wife's name. Then I go say, bah.
Because if he retaliates and you retaliate, and now there's a big struggle, and there's things, one thing leads to another. I'm sorry, I'm not for that. I will leave you there, get in my car, and you will find your way home. I am not about that life.
let's touch on another red flag. I feel like us red flags, ne, we can start a few episodes about us. But let's touch on this one, right? The failure to apologize. I think this is a serious one.
Why is this a serious one?
Because,
Why do you want to mention this
I think,
one?
okay, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this because we actually spoke about this one last week.
Yeah.
And we even showed a scenario. And if you didn't watch last week's show,
Yeah,
please
you
go
can
check
go.
it on Loving With My Ex.
We spent quite a bit of time on that one.
spent a bit of time on that one,
And yes,
but-
I was the culprit. I didn't like to say sorry.
But again, yesterday we had a bit of a tussle, and you came and said sorry. But I think just the quick nature of just sharp, on just let's carry on with the day, as opposed to now we're fighting for the next 3 hours, 4 hours. The house is unpleasant, the children are crying, and this and that. That quick sorry just makes a whole bunch of things go away in like 2 seconds. Regardless of who's wrong or whatever, let's just,
So-
my bro, I'm sorry. Let's
so-
leave that story, man.
What a quick sorry does, and this is coming from me, it took me very long to get to this point, and it was hard work, guys. It really was, and a conscious and mental decision to actually get to this point. But what that does, it's an antidote to the venom. What that really, really does, it deflates the whole balloon instead of popping the balloon, right? And what it changes the tone and the atmosphere, because you did fight, you did have an argument, and yes, you may be validated in why you were upset in the first place, but your reaction isn't called for. A response would have been better, but you reacted because you're irritated, something happened, whatever. But now it's causing an action and a reaction the whole time, and what that does is it just levels the playing ground. It just makes it calm, regardless if you're still upset. Just say I'm sorry and say it nicely, not patronizingly.
And that's the whole thing. You have to be sincere. Okay, let's go. Red flag number 5. Unresolved past issues. I think this one is the one that causes
Before we jump
damage.
into that, Clayton says, I think if someone is rude to my wife, I will act. I think yes, I think you must intervene, but is violence like, are you going to hit the person? What are you going to do? Are you going to say,
Nah, you must just say,
don't be
"Hey,
rude to
bruh."
my wife? Or, whoa.
Ish. I
This is
think
my wife?
there's a way also to do it.
Yes.
Hey, gents, let's leave that, please, man. I'm here with my phone. Let's leave that story now.
Okay, here's a question. Glisten asked, what if someone does that to your husband? Okay,
That's what?
like be rude or what? I'm not sure if it's to be rude or actually like be like slimy and try
I
to
know what
choke up
you'll
my
do.
husband. What will I do?
You say it happened before. Then you say, guys, this is my. You say it in a jokey way, but you saying
step
it.
in,
Yeah, you do.
I
Say,
do.
No.
I'm
You
not-
can't say that.
I'm not cheeky about it. I don't say no, don't do that or whatever. I'll come like, whoa, wag eens. As jy like daar klaar is my man die, ne? No. Like I will come in and I do say, and Xavier knows. If someone needs,
Nou, you say you slaat hom oor die vingers om te sê, wacht jy.
yeah, and everyone, I think everyone knows, whether it be on a group chat or whatever, like, whoa, that's my husband. So yes, I'm very protective in that sense, and a lot of the times, yes, I do come in very subtly, and I do like joking.
But if it's
you will
a
know.
slimy situation, which has also happened before, Anka calls me aside and she says, baby, this girl is
Yeah, I won't.
trying her luck here.
I won't
Please
look like the
leave the
jealous,
story
the
alone."
jealous.
She'll
side
call
chick.
me and say, I can see this one is trying her luck. Let's
Okay.
just go here, please.
So what happens is, and the reason why I do that, and I think this is important to say that, for me as a woman, for me dignity and grace is like a thing, right? So, and it's my husband's responsibility to make me feel secure. It's my husband's responsibility because, you see, I can't be upset with my husband if someone else, tries to speak him out, comes to him and butter him up or whatever. But I can be upset with my husband if he didn't put a stop to it. If he didn't. Now, I'm not saying push the woman in the face or try to no, you read the situation and you say, okay, fine, let me move out of the space, or let me speak to my wife on the side, or let me not pay as much attention there, or whatever. There must be clear lines where the person doesn't feel offended, because sometimes maybe it's a misinterpretation of the situation, but the person isn't feeling this. I think there's a tactful way of doing it. But at the end of the day, it's my husband's responsibility to make me feel secure. So when I go to him, I say to him, baby, I can see this one's intentions. And then it's up to him how he handles it. And if he doesn't handle it, then I have the right to be upset with him.
But you can't be upset for the other person.
No.
A random person. Because it's my job to say, Hallo, ek is getroud.
Yeah. Now,
Ag.
where it
Nou gaan
escalates-
beklei jy nou die vrou trek haar en goede.
and I ain't about
While
that
I'm
life.
supposed to be saying, wait, ma'am, thank you for the compliment. I do appreciate it. This is my wife.
And this
Which
is-
has happened before. This happened many times before. I said,
Never before.
no, I am actually married.
I mean, the other day you were in a live. Was it last week you were in a
Yeah.
live?
And then
this-
someone said, dude, you're so handsome. And then I said, yeah, here's my wife. Check it.
Just a jealous party uit net daar. And you see, that's where it's important to make the other person feel secure. And the same way, we've walked in the mall or whatever, or I was in the shop somewhere, and I'll talk, and this person would be flirting, and then like, no, I am married, and then people will be like, huh? Yes, I've got 2 kids, and some of the times they will just waltz in with the kids, and the kids would run to me or whatever, and there would be that. But it would be the onus is on me to draw the line and say, no, but I am married, and for as a matter of fact, I'm very happy.
Look, it's
married.
lekker to get compliments.
Yeah, we
And you
like
now and then you
compliments.
smile also, but
It's a booster. It's
this,
a confidence
at some point
booster.
it must be like, I say, whoa, I'm married.
Like I said, everything in life, there must be balance and there must be boundaries. And as a woman, we also want to get compliments. And let's be honest, when it comes to the marriage, we get used to each other now and then. And then, sometimes the compliment doesn't come. Like Xavier's not a romantic, so he's not going to get up every morning and say, "Oh, you're so beautiful," every single morning to appease my insecurities.
And then also
or
it
whatever.
comes across as phony. Or
And
something.
later on, it becomes tacky,
No,
whatever.
you know,
So,
just-
and now you walk out this morning, specific morning, he now didn't say you look pretty or whatever, and you're feeling it a little bit down or whatever. And some random person says, you're gorgeous or something. It's a nice confidence booster, but it's up to me to know that it's a compliment. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Your husband doesn't hate you because he didn't give you a compliment this morning. But it's like a nice flower. Smell the aroma and move along.
So red flag number 5, which is unresolved past issues, right? Lingering baggage or unsolved issues from past relationships can impact your current one. That is a big one.
I think
That
we've
is a
touched on
big
this one already as well when we spoke about the whole Jada and Will Smith situation, where if you haven't dealt with past issues, believe you me, they will come and they will haunt you, and your partner will have to deal with it if you don't deal with past issues.
Yeah.
And time doesn't take it away.
Yeah,
I
I always asked Ankane, doesn't time make the thing go away? She's like, hey, I know people that were married to their person for 20 years, but they were still chatting to their
High school
to their
sweetheart.
high school sweetheart that they used to jol when they were 18. And then as soon as the one person died, next best thing, you hear the auntie's getting married and she's marrying where the whole family already knew, that's auntie. It looks so like she and her uncle, there's something going on. Then you find a story out afterwards, they used to date when they were 18 or 19, or they used to catch a vibe somewhere. So the feelings doesn't necessarily go away. It's things that you actually have to deal with it. And I've had 2 serious past relationships. And I could never understand why I'm being treated differently or funny or whatever. And yes, when you are with someone for a long time, you had special moments with the person and you went somewhere together and you miss the person because when you smell this perfume that they used to wear,
You spend time together.
and this and that and whatever. Those things are all real. And it is real. But now, you smell Dolce & Gabbana light blue. My ex used to wear Dolce & Gabbana light blue. And now, I smell it somewhere in the mall. Now I come home and I'm fighting with my wife because I'm now missing my ex. It's like, my bro, what's going on?
You do need to deal with it, yeah.
You must sort it out. You must definitely sort it out.
I know of family members that happened to, that it's never dealt with. I know of people who have been married for years, and the one person who was an ex in the past, just their life just couldn't get started. Like, it just wasn't working out simply because they didn't deal with what was happening. And for me personally, I'm the type of person that your exes formed part of your life. They form part of the decisions that you made, and there's nothing I can do about it. I can't be jealous because you had an ex. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I wasn't there when you were with this person. I didn't see you guys together. And that person, and you guys had a beautiful time, and that formed or sculpted you into the person that you are now. But it is on you to deal with it. You were with that person, you aren't with that person anymore. That's why for me, when people are funny to their exes or whatever, and this is me personally, not everybody has the same temperament, not everybody is on the same level when it comes to EQ and all of that kind of stuff. But for me personally, that my ex was part of my life at some point. I'll never not just, I just won't. I won't walk past him and not greet him. He's a person, we were together, and I've made peace with it. I feel like it speaks volumes when you don't greet the person. It's like you haven't made peace with it and you don't want to see this person.
For me personally, I
That's
feel
what I
like
think.
if you're going to be snacks on that level, that means there's some stuff you didn't deal with. Because for me, I don't know, bruh. There could be different reasons. I don't want to just paint it all with the same brush. But there could be different reasons. But for me personally, I don't mind seeing anyone that I used to date. I don't mind greeting those people. I don't mind. Obviously, there needs to be boundaries. We can't now start talking every day and start chatting. Now you're waking up old flames and us. But to see each other, to greet, to be civil.
And have I mean, this is always the topic of contention, and we've spoken to other people, not us. We've spoken about this a lot of times, and we've dealt with this on Gap Fest as well. And everyone thinks I'm weird, but I mean, I'm very good friends with your ex, and you are, even with my ex, you guys speak. And I think it's a matter of when you've dealt with it, we form part of each other, but we're done with that chapter. Like, move on, you know.
Do you think, on that point, right, do you think it depends on how serious the relationship was?
I do think if there
Because
was
there's different elements now. You could have a kid together. It could have been serious.
Look, dynamics are different. I think for us specifically, there was no soul tie in the sense that we've never slept together. I think that does change the elements, which is why abstinence is actually a thing and waiting for marriage is really a thing. Look, given the fact that not everybody is afforded that opportunity, not everybody was in the state of mind to make a decision, no, I'll be celibate until I get married. And things can be dealt with in counseling. I'm not saying it's all doom and gloom if, you know, it's not, if that's not on the table for you anymore. But if you can, then wait. If you can wait, because it just
makes a lot more easier.
Things easier. But what I'm saying is that those elements do play a part. Like, you know, if you guys have slept together, whatever. I know people that have slept together, but then, you know, they're still okay. They're still civil with one another. They're still okay with one another, to greet one another. It's not necessary for you to ignore this person, block this person. Maybe if you're dealing with things and you don't want to see it right now, but the quicker you deal with it, the better for you.
The easier it is for you to see the person and not have that like, yo.
Before we go on, can I just jump into the comments real quick? Just to go back. Ansley says they think they like to compliment sex, and I like ants. The reason why I like ants is my cheerleader.
Where did he say that?
Under Clayton's comment. I think Clayton is on the socials live.
On the IG.
On the IG live. And Ants is my cheerleader. He will say, I will tell Anka, you are my wingman, Dio. And then I can relate to Zake's people getting weird, the exes. And then we have Paris Cortez who says, hey guys. And Felicia says, it's so true, Anka. And then Paris says, you should start out as friends and end as friends. I think this is true, because remember, the person is a person, and there's time shared, there's moments that you guys share together.
But there's people that can't handle their emotions. Like, I can tell you, there's people that cannot handle their emotions, especially the gents, I would say. That can't just be, bruh, we already slept together, we already kissed, we already did all those things. Now I must just be your friend.
Look,
you see what I'm saying? So there's been a boundary that has already been crossed.
Yeah. Look, you can't go back to
so it becomes difficult to just then be.
When we say friends,
I say be civil. Like, hey, how are you? Good. Like in our case, but again, the dynamic is very different. The persons that you were mentioning earlier that you friends with, and I put X in inverted commas there because it was someone that I kind of just vibed with for a short period of time. Yeah, you can say X, it's fine. But I'm saying the relationship wasn't a long-term relationship. It didn't get intense to the point where we're going to each other's family events together and we're doing this and that together and da. I think the dynamic does shift when it gets to that level of intensity where where it's like the families are now intertwined, these big memorable moments together. This person came with you when you all went on holiday. You went with their family when they went on holiday. It becomes, the dynamic, I think, does shift. And even with the guy that I'm friends with, that you used to vibe with, it also wasn't like a long-term, hardcore, serious relationship.
I think it's important to mention, because I'm not the type of person that would have been in a relationship for years like certain people. I won't mention names, but you can follow my eyes. So
yeah, I was always like, if we're gonna be together, let's get married then, man.
Yeah, so people are in different times, like thought patterns, whatever, when they get into a relationship. Personally, for me, I laid it out a year and a half. If you don't know the direction of your life, I can't stick around for that. I know where I'm going. And so the relationships that I had before I got married wasn't very long. It was more like a vibe, but it's still an ex. I think it's also important to mention that in today's culture, sex is like a thing that is just, it's part of a relationship. It's something that you do, like when you kiss someone in a relationship, and it's not. I think people negate the seriousness of sex and the spiritual aspect that is tied to sex. Sex is extremely intimate.
And there's a big spiritual
attachment. That's why people who sleep together, they have to deal with things afterwards. That is so honest. Like this culture of a one-night stand, or did you already go to second base or whatever. I know of grown people that don't understand why their relationships don't work, or why the person only sticks around for a period of time. There's a big element to that.
There's a spiritual element, there's a psychological element. It's not just fun slap some.
Yeah, it's not just like, okay, now we can just go on, no strings attached. There's no such thing as no strings attached.
There's no such thing as no strings. Once you've passed a certain level of intimacy, there's a reason those things are preserved for marriage.
I repeat what I've said earlier. I'm not saying it's doom and gloom, and this is not a remedy, a quick fix remedy, by saying that it can be sorted out in counseling. It takes a lot to go to counseling. It takes a lot to deal with issues you don't really want to face. And it's much easier to just abstain and just not have to deal with it. Given the fact that it can be dealt with, it can be worked through, but why put yourself through something like that if you can prevent it beforehand?
Alright, let's go to another one, right? A disregard for boundaries. Ignoring or dismissing boundaries, personal boundaries and personal space can be a significant issue.
Can I just get back to this? Sorry, baby. So Paris says that sex means different things for people. Some see it as deep, and others see it as something humans do. Now, here's the thing: regardless of how you see it,
it has that effect.
It has that effect. Regardless,
even if you think it's just a one-night stand,
the effect is
lasting. It will have
an
effect.
So regardless if people see something in a different light, the true essence of the effect that it has afterwards, the things that you need to deal with, doesn't go away. The consequence doesn't go away. And we have really counseled multiple people to know.
I was going to say, the space we've worked in, we've seen this thing too many times.
I know the popular culture is you must test drive the car. No, you mustn't test drive the car. Let me tell you why you mustn't test drive the car. And I say this from experience. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I will have this conversation afterwards, right? Never mind. But basically,
no, I don't know what you were going to say.
Yeah, I prefer you not to know what I was going to say. But going back to the movie reference that you had just now with the Temptations movie, right? And there's a scene in there, and I think this was true for us, right? When we got married, we didn't know what we were doing. Not from a bar of soap. We've tried to read books, we tried to watch movies or whatever, just to be a little bit more prepared. But nothing prepares you for the actual space that you're going to be in when the time comes. And what happened was that I don't think either of us enjoyed any of that space in the beginning. But as time grew, we grew with one another, and we could learn and see each other's needs and each other's wants and what each other wanted. And it took a bit of time, but once we got it, it was like fine wine. Now imagine if that was the case, but I had already been with somebody else. I'll be disappointed. Yeah, no, he's not satisfying. Why? Because I've got something to compare it with now. But if I don't have something to compare it to, look, marriage is difficult as it is. And bringing all of those things into marriage makes it so much more difficult. So, and I say this again, if you've crossed the line, it can be dealt with. Go to counseling. Deal with it. You need to deal with all the aspects in your life. But we didn't have anything to compare to. So it gave us the chance to actually grow and get to know each other. But I think if we had an element of comparison, would we have lasted as long as we did? That's a question to you, my husband.
Comparison.
Yeah, if I had slept with someone else, or you had slept with someone else before we got married, because we didn't enjoy each other in the first couple of years of marriage. Like let's say the first 2 years of marriage, because we were both new at it. We were both trying to figure out, and I was moody and I didn't want this, and we didn't speak and we didn't know how to communicate. Those things are elements that add to a relationship that just draws it down.
Yeah, we would have ended up surviving, but would have just added more unnecessary pressure. But I want to move over to the next red flag, right? The boundaries issue, because are you done with the comment?
Yeah.
So disregarding personal boundaries. What do you feel about that?
Personal boundaries in what sphere? Like in what? Like
ignoring or dismissing people's personal space. To me, that's not a...
no, that's not a biggie, because when you get married, there's no real personal space when you get married. There are certain elements, but those are trivial things like using the bathroom. What are your rules about using the bathroom and that kind of stuff? I think Xavier was very like, in the beginning, you were very like, this is my phone, this is my that, this is my that. And over time, you realize that certain things happen in our marriage where it was like, there's the phone. It's open. I mean, we're at the point where my iCloud he knows all the information on my phone. It's to the point where if his phone is flat, he can take my phone and go for the day, or whatever.
Exactly. The phones are interchangeable. So for me, but personal space in the way that each individual also must have a little bit of your own privacy. And if you feel like you want to, like me when I go riding with the gents, or if I go take my jog,
but those are personal days.
That's like, I want to also be by myself for a little bit. Give me this hour just to go and dwell there, walk around and come back or whatever. It's not to go and catch on nonsense or whatever, but it's just give me that hour, 2 hours. Sometimes the children are making noise, that's that and that. You come home, you just sit in the car for another hour because it's like, wait, can I just breathe? Sometimes I like driving by myself also. Yeah, I purposely say, no, I'll go and do whatever. I'll go to the shop or whatever, because we live like far from the shops. So that drive is like a half an hour drive just to get out there. But I would purposely want to drive and be alone, because I would want to be alone, because I would feel like I just want to breathe a bit, man, and talk to myself and just think about my own stuff.
That's an important thing in dating as well. Now, remember, you're not married. When you are married, the dynamics change. Like, you know each other's passwords, you know everything. When you are dating, you're basically getting to know this person. So I think there should be boundaries and personal space in a dating sphere where you guys do give each other a breather. How are you when you guys are apart? How are you when you guys are together all the time? You know, those are the things. How are you in different spheres? What is the boundaries on the phone? Set those certain boundaries. And when certain things are put into place, like you discuss certain things, and that all happens in the dating phase, whether it comes to finances, whether it comes to privacy, all of those type of things. When you guys get to communicate and understand each other better, you'll understand where those boundaries are. There are certain boundaries. I think for me and Xavier, there were certain rules and boundaries that were in place that we never really needed to discuss because of both our backgrounds. And this is where backgrounds is important. It also helps with that, setting the boundaries. So I also had things in the beginning of the marriage that I said, okay, fine, this is what I want from my husband. This is what I'm looking for in a husband. I said I wanted a virgin as well, which in the climate that we grew up in was like, no, girls can still be virgins, but a guy will never be a virgin. That was like a taboo kind of thing. But I said I wanted a virgin. I said I wanted someone who is saved and in ministry, but understands family, because I knew that people who are generally in ministry was notorious for only doing ministry and neglecting their families, which is not the way it's supposed to be, and not all people in ministry are that way. And I wanted that type of person. and also someone who had a family background. So and my father was a very strict person. My father was the type of person, a certain time of the house, it doesn't matter how old I was. When I was in grade 12 o'clock, I had to come into the house. And that's where it stopped. There was no coming home at 1, 3 or 5 in the morning. None of that happened. And when I was engaged to Xavier, bearing in mind I was 25 at the time and I was engaged to Xavier, or 24 at the time. And then we'd be out with friends and my mother would call me at 11, my guy, you are engaged. An engaged woman doesn't flans. What is flans in English? Doesn't gallivant around at this hour. It's not it's not kosher. Come back home. And when I got married, what that did for me was it wasn't difficult for me to be home at a certain time. I couldn't be married and be out at 2 o'clock with the girls. It just in my mind it just like. So that already set the boundaries for me. So a lot of those boundaries we didn't need to talk about. Whereas when people grow up in different cultures, given the fact that not everybody grows up in the same sphere, whatever, if I was a girl who was single and I was, I lived on my own or whatever, and I could do whatever I wanted at whatever time, those boundaries don't come naturally to me. So a lot of those boundaries should be in place.
Can we move to the next one, guys?
Sure.
Unexpected outbursts of anger. That is so there's some stuff going on in the live chat. Just check the chat, please, baby.
Okay, so it says here, Paris says that personal space is everything for me. Even in the relationships, I'm too independent. Now, when it comes to relationship, you can't be too independent. There must be a bit of interdependency, not maybe a bit of codependency, but there must be where you guys depend on each other a little bit for certain things, because what now happens is you're just in a silo. Why are we in a relationship at the end of the day? And I do everything by myself. I'm the only child. Yeah. So there's certain things that you're going to have to allow this person to come into, because that's how a relationship works.
But that's again background, because if you grew up in that space, it kind of shapes your background.
Paris, you made all these comments just to say, I'm never getting married, haha. So it becomes, if you want to be in a relationship, there's these certain things that, you're going to have to share. A relationship is about sharing. You can't be dependent.
If you can't do that, it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work. And
sharing, compromising, those are like hardcore elements that you must do.
Paris says he likes us and he has subscribed. Oh, I'm not sure if it's a he or a she. I'm not sure, but sorry if I offended. But
if I offended,
but thank you for subscribing. And then Lady J says morning power couple, and then we have I'm not sure what the South African comment is. Yes, they are South African.
No, Paris asked, are you guys from Africa?
Oh, yeah, we are South African. And then I knew it, the Inside Show, at the Inside Show. And then Lady J says, Lol Paris, yes, you say you don't want to get married. It's a lot of work, but the most amazing experience too. I'm with Lady J on this one. I'm a big advocate for marriage. It's the most beautiful thing. Yes, it can be difficult, as most things are in life. But if you are married to the right person, it's really fun.
If you are married to the right person, it's heaven on earth. If you're married to the wrong person, it's hell on earth.
And then
you will suffer, bruh.
And then Paris and Lady J is having a conversation in our comments. She said,
okay, but now I need to move over to the next
point.
Wait,
last one. Felicia says, personal space is important. Just think and breathe, and need to be both ways though. It is important, but remember, ultimately when you're in a relationship to be with someone. So if you constantly need personal space, then you should really question why you're in a relationship.
Then just stay single.
Just stay single.
So yeah, unexpected outbursts of anger
is
a big concern, and this is especially for dating, and that speaks volumes of some unresolved issues. So if you are just fighting for rubbish and you're turning everything into an argument and you make life difficult for everyone, me personally, I will not continue to be with you if you are going to make my life difficult. Again, marrying the right person is heaven on earth. Marrying the wrong person is hell on earth. I do not want to be with someone that makes my life a misery. Every move is an argument. Everything is a fight. We sit down at a restaurant, now you're fighting with a lady that's helping us. We go somewhere, now you're fighting with someone in a car park. It's like, my bro, what is wrong with you? But that's a telltale sign of some unresolved
Issues. Yeah.
So something happened to you when you were a kid. Something happened to you where somewhere, somehow in your life that you didn't sort out, and now you're out here fighting and behaving like a hooligan everywhere. And what's going to happen? I can tell you. Your first argument you're going to have with your spouse, Watla! Wabatla! That is a guarantee.
Yes.
There's going to be what we call gender-based violence
Yeah.
in that home.
But
100% is going to be gender-based violence.
Here's the thing. If you don't deal with your issues, other people are going to have to deal with it. It's very important for you to deal with things. And a lot of the times, people say, when they're a child, when things happen to children, they'll get over it, they'll live through it. The reality of the matter is, people who turn out to be abusers, people who have issues and who constantly fight and who can't, hold a relationship down or whatever, those issues stem from their childhood, their early childhood development. And having said that, we can blame the world, we can blame our parents, we can blame everybody else, but ultimately you have to deal with it. You can blame the whole world and make excuses and whatever, but it's not going to help anyone. It's not going to help you or the people who have to deal with whatever issues come from there. It's important to be self-aware and to deal with those issues. So a lot of the times, things happen in our childhood that maybe we didn't really realize was that traumatizing. Maybe we didn't really realize, or people or adults who were around us at the time didn't see it as serious. But we're at a time now where we can afford to be self-aware. We can go to counseling. There are these means that we can go and delve into to help us deal with these things, because when we get into a relationship, our partner has to deal with it. If there's unexplained bursts of anger, it comes from somewhere. You as an individual needs to go have a look at what it might be and try to sort it out from there, so that you can be a better person for the next person. Because trust me, believe me, you'll find a way to try and justify it, and it will always be the other person's fault, and so a narcissist is born.
Yeah, which brings us to the next point, number 8, which is related to point number 7, the previous point. Consistent high drama and emotional instability. So, bruh,
no emotional intelligence.
Come on, be honest with you. I have counseled a couple like this, and I have told those people, Chance, this thing is not gonna work. Julle kan nie die hele dag beklei nie. You can't be fighting the whole time. You are fighting. We busy drive. Now we uncomfortable here in the car. Now you all can pick us up. Now we sitting here the back. Now you are arguing. It's like, hey, now what must we now do here the back now? You little bit clean now and on sit and wonder now who can what moet nou. Hey, can you all just drop me here, please? Let me get out of the car. You guys are making me uncomfortable. Have you ever had those situations where people are fighting while you're sitting there and you're like,
this is awkward.
This is awkward. Fighting all the time. Drama, high drama to the point where pull this car over, I'm getting out of this car now and blah blah blah. No, but clearance here be highway, no jump moving vehicle. It's
and we've had a situation like that, like in our first month or two of marriage. I think we went to Rosebank, and I'm not sure what the argument was, but I wasn't backing down, and Xavier wasn't backing down. We were on the highway, and he literally pulled over. I'm not driving this car until we resolve this issue. And I'm the type of person that is like, let me cool down and then we have a conversation. And Xavier's like, no, we're gonna sort this thing out now. And the conversation just escalated, and the emotions just escalated, and I'm right and he's right, and no one's hearing anybody, and it just overflows into like a bursting pot of hot lava. And you know what the result of something like that can be is just a slap in the face or a smack or something.
No, but I'm saying if it's consistent, guys, if you all are dating and you all are fighting all the time, leave the thing alone. It's not working. Or go to a counselor and go and ask, hey, pastor or counselor or whoever, look here, man, we fight the whole day. Wat gaan aan nie so? And then get to the root of the issue and see how you can resolve it. But the story of every time we see you all are arguing, that situation, those people ended up saying that they want to go through with whatever they did. They didn't even last a year or a year and a half or something. Next thing they were out, divorced. And when I sat down and spoke to some of the people, I was like, guys, this thing we then saw in the beginning that this thing is not going to work. You all were fighting the whole Bruh, they fighting on the wedding day. They're busy arguing on their wedding day. She's walking nar down the aisle. He's standing there, they're busy arguing while they get. How is that healthy, bro? That's unhealthy.
Needless to say, the relationship didn't even last 2 years for something like that. Just to jump into the comments again, Paris says that my dad always says to have disagreements and not fights. I think that is so true, that when you have a disagreement, you can sort out a disagreement, but a fight just escalates into something that is unnecessary. And then Lady J says, I think sometimes, yes, there is underlying issues. So if someone is really battling, will you leave that person? Why not try and help? If no change, then if no change. So the reality of the matter is, when you get married, when you're in a relationship, you are not married to this person's issues or whatever, and you still have the opportunity to decide, do I want to deal with this? Don't I want to deal with this? But when you're married, believe you me,
Now
their
you have
problems
to sort it out,
become your problems.
So that's
You
why
have
we
to sort it
always
out.
advocate counseling, guys. We
Yeah.
always advocate counseling. Some of you have to go for longer counseling than others. Some of you going to have to go and dig deep there to when you were 13 and something traumatic happened to you in a sexual manner, or something serious happened to you with your parents, or something definitely serious happened to you. You're going to have to go and dig there far and actually bring it up to the surface and find a way to let it heal, so that you can move over and move on properly, as opposed to there you just fighting, you just moody. It's basically the bear with the thorn in the paw kind of syndrome.
Yeah.
You know that whole thing. The bear is moody, the bear is miserable. Oh no, there's a thorn in his paw. Pull it out. Okay, sharp. There the bear's all right again. But that's basically what it is. But some situations is not just pulling out a thorn. Some situations is you have to dive deep. Others are more traumatic than others, like abuse in the manner of your private areas and all of that. Those are a little bit deeper than others. Abuse in the family home, where your mother was abusive to you. You felt like your parents always took your siblings' part and not your part. You felt like you were the swart lamiki in the family. You felt like this and that, whatever the case might be. Those things resurface later, and that is worth a good couple of counseling sessions to sit down and actually say, I think part of or the counselor will help you work all the way to a point where you realize, this is where this thing stems from, and this is where this problem is. Let me deal with the root of this issue, so that I can actually sort this thing out.
Yeah, and I mean, I say this again, time does not make things go away. I know of couples who are married 20, 25 years and got divorced because of something that happened in the childhood home, and now it's coming to light and they're blaming other people for it. I know of situations like that. So dealing with your past is very, very important. And then I'm just going to read the last couple of comments because our time is completely up. Paris asks, what are our zodiac signs?
We don't do star signs. Sorry, Paris. We don't do star signs. We don't really believe in it.
And then Lady J is near woman is the masters in the drama department. Hey, kan jy ons so uithaal? Drama department, we get Oscars. We can't even handle ourselves. I think that is a lot of that is true. I think it's true for both with men and egos and women and emotions. Emotional intelligence really is something. And then Paris said, I think it's I don't know what that is, but I think it was in relation to the comment we made. You have to deal with someone. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Paris. You have to deal with the issues when you get married. But if you're in dating, you can still decide whether you want to stick up with this. Sadly, we have come to the end.
I have one last one. Quickly, gave us 5 minutes, but last one, and I think it's gonna allow us to close this conversation in a good like round it off.
Yeah.
It's the refusal to seek help, and this for me is a big red flag. If you can see, we are arguing, we are fighting, we are not coming to a conclusion here, we are not sitting around the same fire. Hey, brother, this thing is not working. It's really not working. This is more so for married couples. If you are dating and if you're dating and you haven't yet stepped over those boundaries and over those lines, it's a lot more easier for you just to say, you know what, I technically I don't have to put up with this. That's the whole point of dating, you scouting the situation. So I don't really have to put up with this. But if you're dating, you together long, you kind of, the person is not overall altogether bad, and you kind of say, look, I want to actually sort this out because it's only this little area that we can work through. It's not a make or break area for me. We can sort it out. If the person doesn't want help, for me,
There's nothing you can do.
that's gonna be. I don't know how you're gonna solve that one. That's gonna be a difficult one. That's gonna require more spiritual intervention. That's gonna require some prayer. It's gonna require you ask God to soften this person's heart. That's gonna require you ask God to put this person in a good space with some positive friends. Maybe ask God to surround him. Like let's say if you're the lady and the guy doesn't want to go for help, or if you're the guy, the girl, Lord, please surround my partner with good friends so that they can kind of influence him or her to seek help, or pray that God softens, because God can do that. He can come home one day and just say, "Ish, baby, you know what? I think we need to go and see a counselor." Then you'll be like, "Yes, this is what I've been praying about." And so, but seeking help is vitally important, because if you can see something is wrong and you don't want to fix it, that means you're not interested in sorting the thing out. Because anytime you're willing, here's the thing. If you stop fighting, it's an issue. And in fighting, I don't mean fighting physically or fighting in the fighting in the context of earlier about the disagreement and the fighting. I'm saying if you stop fighting for your marriage, or stop fighting for your relationship, fighting for the marriage, not fighting each other, that's where someone is checked out. That's where someone has said, you know what, I'm not interested. That's where someone is busy taking someone else's calls, coming home different times. So they've already decided, you know what,
I'm done, yeah.
It is what it is, bruh. Do you?
You can only fight something out if both of you are willing to get into the ring. And then I just want to say, Paris is asking, I hope to see you guys soon. Thanks for this. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all the interaction, guys. I think I'm under correction, but I think today...
Can I plug our other channel before you say that?
Yeah. This will be our last show here for the year. Here, I stand under correction. Do you concur with us?
It will be, guys, listen, it will be from an insights point of view, because next week we got to do a bunch of other stuff, and the office is closing, so there's no staff to come and record and all that kind of thing. However, on our other channel, our sister channel from this one, it's called Living With My Ex on YouTube. Guys, please do go and show some love on that channel. Maybe I should just drop it here.
We'll drop the link
in the link here in the comment section quick. Yeah. But please go show some love and go and
subscribe.
It's a new channel.
There. It is a very new channel. It's
only like 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
So please go and subscribe over there.
So we'll be hopping on for the holidays. We'll be hopping on to
and
that
then
channel.
There we can jump on and do some stuff on there, and then that will really. Then you can continue to watch some stuff from there. We'll do some stuff from home on that channel, and then you guys can really go check it out over there. But I'm just gonna drop it here in the comments in the chat box quick.
While you do that, let me just finish off the comments, and then we will be signing out. Then we have. Phoebe, who says this is genuinely my favorite show. Phoebe says can't wait for next week. Sorry, Phoebe, but tune into our
spin-off. My ex,
the spin-off channel. And then Felicia says awesome show, thank you guys. Lady J says love this show, keep it up. And then Clayton says that person is an island, they need more love, help and prayer. I think that is to do with someone who doesn't want to deal with their issues when we were speaking about that. Paris says amen at Clayton Gamedi. And then Felicia says share the link on your socials also, and then Paris, put it in the link below for me. We will definitely do that, Paris, and we will be sharing it on our socials. If you haven't followed us on our socials, it is Xavier Hendricks, Xavier _Hendricks and Anka _Hendricks on Instagram and TikTok. If you guys can go see us, we will be posting content as well, asking questions. You guys can ask us questions on there as well. And yeah, we hope to see you guys next week on our spin-off channel.
Before you sign out, what I'm gonna do now for everyone on there, I'm going to comment from that channel, right? Just so you can click straight onto the link from there. So I'm going to say, please do subscribe here. Hey, why is it not allowing me to comment? I don't understand.
It doesn't want you to
comment.
There,
it first wanted me to sub. I agreed to sub.
You are not subscribed.
No, but it's a brand new channel, so I didn't really do much on that. Please check out this channel. Thank you. There we go. There we go, Living With My Ex. So guys, you can just click onto that comment over there, and then you'll literally see our channel. And then through the holidays, we can post on there as well. And also, you can keep up, because I feel like there's a lot more red flags. Maybe we should continue the red flag saga.
Yeah, there's quite a few that we haven't covered.
Yeah, there's a lot that we haven't covered.
See, we don't need to rush.
But let's continue the red flag saga on our channel, and you guys will see that on there. But for us, for now, it is the holiday season. People are now busy. Basically, the office is going to close soon, and then we're not going to have staff here to come and do shows and do a bunch of stuff. So we are going to call it a year for us, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we started this brand new channel close to the end of the year. We're only like 4 episodes in, but already the response is so good. And
next year we have quite a few exciting stuff lined up. We'll have a couple of guests here as
well.
Yeah.
We're going to start bringing in other couples, start bringing in other guests. So that's going to be interesting.
We'll discuss real life issues with people are really going through. So, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're here for the long ride.
Now we definitely are. So family, please don't forget to go and subscribe to Living With My Ex. It's also Anka and I's channel. We're going to cut some of the shorts, put it on there. Some of the clips, put it on there. Easier bite-sized clips, we'll put all on there. And then we'll go live from home as well during the holidays and do a bunch of stuff from that perspective. But please do go and check out that channel. Subscribe to that. Don't miss out any of what we do. So next week we'll go live there. It won't be this show, but it will still be a continuation and a spin-off from the show. We'll be at our home, and we'll do it from there. But guys, thank you so much for your love and support. We definitely appreciate it. Don't forget to sub, and don't forget to share the show. I love you guys. See you on the next one. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new show.
Xavier used to be my boyfriend, then my fiance, and then my husband, so he's my ex-boyfriend.
We decided that we needed to spice this up.